I'd have to mount them to the wall or
Right.
something.
Our audio's now live, and I am ready to go whenever you are.
I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Right, here we go. I'll do the intro. Hopefully, we'll hear and see this. Fingers crossed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 834 of the Overseas Connection. Happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you. Joining us, as ever, from the middle of nowhere, wearing flannel, is Kim Woods. Hi, Kim.
Should I get me an axe too? We'll just do the whole lumberjack thing.
All of it, because
Okay.
you're a lumberjack and you're okay.
Okay,
How are
that's right.
things in the middle of nowhere?
It's like 70 degrees today, so it's all good. So happy to be here. Let's do a show.
I did notice that that while our illustrious host is away, you did represent Tank Top today. So well done. Well done.
It did, you know.
There you
so,
go. Show them guns. Show them guns. Sun's out, guns out. Thank you, Kim.
Right.
And joining us, putting the overseas connection and running all of the decks is Mr. Mark Anix. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Mark Alex here.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you as well. It's like a weird version of church. Episode 834. If you do some quick math, that's just over 16 years. So fun fact is,
Wow.
if you were a person born the week that the first Overseas Connection hit the internet, you'd be legal to drive in 21 out of 52 states in the union. So it was. It used to be 16 everywhere, but several of the states have raised the driving age. What about over there, Mark? What's the driving age?
It's 17 here. You can ride a moped up to 50 cc's between after 16, but for a car, it's got to be 17.
Okay. Yeah, we have the same 50 cc's up to 50 cc's with no license. Where I used to live in North Carolina, they didn't mess around. One driving while under the influence of alcohol conviction, and they would take your license away.
Yeah.
So you would see all these adults driving around on these 50 cc motorcycles, and you just knew, like we call them DUI cycles. Like there's no other reason that you would drive that on the interstate. So quick question, Mark. Is it now? I know you have. There's 4 different countries that make up the United Kingdom. Driving age the same in all of them?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you name all 4?
So it's fun. I was discussing this with my students the other day. I don't know how we got that in a nuclear engineering class, but yeah, you got you have England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, right?
Yep.
That's the United Kingdom. Yeah.
Great Britain is all of them except Northern Ireland. Which
that's just the island, right? It's the island. It's the British Isles. The largest of them is Great Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a man of culture. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I was gonna say you was here recently, so you should have known.
Yeah. Well, also being in the U.S. Department of Defense as long as I have, I've spent a lot of time alongside the Royal Army and the Royal Air Force and the Aussies and the Canadians and the Kiwis, our closest buddies.
You need You need some geographical. You need to know geography to send in the drones, don't you? So.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, the big joke is I like to tell everyone I speak 5 languages, right? I speak American, British, Australian, Canadian, and New Zealand. So
there you go.
New Zealand is a stretch sometimes. I have to see it written down, but I can handle it. So we're a video games podcast. We're here to talk about life and video games. We go live Sundays at 8 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. on the West Coast, 3 p.m. in real time here on the East Coast, and 2 p.m. in the middle of nowhere. We go live. Except sometimes when we go forward in time and the rest of the world says no, not yet, or we go backward in time. Check us out on Discord. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Xbox Live. And before we get too far, I guess we would be remiss if we didn't say happy birthday, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, well, it's this Friday. It's not just yet, but yeah.
All right.
All the fives, 55 on Friday.
55. All right. Happy 55th.
Is there no one else?
Awesome. I don't see any other birthdays here.
All right.
So
Well, I'll play this for myself then.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
happy birthday, Mark. It's kind of like making your own birthday cake.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what's been going on this week.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Seamless, Chris. Seamless.
Seamless. So I'm keeping you on your toes this week. I'm keeping you on your toes. So before we get into our own story times, you may have noticed, listeners, well, watchers, that Mr. DeLacy is not among us. He was a little cagey about where he was going to be this week, but I did a little sleuthing, and I learned that he is at the Bridal and Wedding Expo in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, look for Tank Top. Say hello. Make sure that he doesn't pick some foolish colors that clash with his skin, right? So that's what's going on with Craig. What's going on in your neck of the woods, Kim?
Cats, and apparently a lot of them. I mean, I know that's not a shock, but it's been the week for cats. I found 4 more kittens, so now the total is officially up to 8 kittens. But that being said, I'm not planning to keep them all. Hopefully, once they get weaned, I'm planning on hopefully adopting them out and finding them homes, because honestly, I don't need any more. So good news, bad news, however you want to go with that. More kittens, yay!
You say finding kittens, and I'm picturing. So I have friends who have chickens, and the chickens just lay the eggs wherever, and they have to go find the eggs. Is this kind of similar with the cats? They just kind of kittens wherever.
Yeah. I had a mama cat who, of course, I knew she was going to have kittens. Well, they tend to wander off and, kind of like most things, make their nest somewhere. Well, of course, I live on 40 acres, so they can pretty much go and have them wherever they want, right? Well, the cat had finally come back to the house, because we feed them on the porch. So she had finally come back to the house, and she'd been on the porch for a while, so I had assumed she'd lost them. Well, obviously I was wrong, because here the other day, like right before we had a big rainstorm, she had apparently brought them up to the porch, so now I have 4 more kittens. There's 2 black and white ones, a black one, and a little tiger stripe. And of course, they don't like people because they haven't been around one yet. So of course, the first thing the little tiger stripe did when I picked it up was bit me. So yeah, But yeah, so I'm gonna wait till they're weaned, and hopefully once they're weaned, my sister's gonna put them up on Facebook, and hopefully we can find some homes for them.
Find them a new home. Not a lot of mice running around the Woods estate, though.
Not too terribly, no. Although you would be surprised it seems like once they make it in the house, they get lazy, and then they're like, you know what, Kim, fuck you, we're not doing that. So
Yeah, you got to stop feeding them. Then they'll start finding their own food.
yeah, right, exactly. So
Right.
yeah, more kittens. So
What's this wobbly cat?
I've got this cat. Her name is Ghost. She's also an outside cat. I've noticed she's had some ear issues. Well, we've cleaned her ears and all that. Well, here a while back, she had showed up, and she kind of walked around like she was drunk. So I looked at her, and we did some stuff. Anyway, I found out cleaning her ears would help. Well, she was fine for a while. Well, then here the other day, and she tends to wander, because like I said, we live on 40 acres, so they'll go out in the pastures and whatever and hole up for a while, and then they'll come back. Well, she had come back here the other day, and I noticed she was back at wobbling around and falling over and basically just acting like me on Saturday night after I've had too much whiskey. So of course we checked her ears, and of course they needed cleaned again. But I told Dad, I said, well, if she doesn't get any better, I'll just have to take her to the vet and have to, make the decision. But after cleaning her ears the last, what's it been, 3-4 days, she seems to be up. She's still a little wobbly, but she's not bad. She's not like falling over and running into things. So hopefully it's just an inner ear thing, and it'll clear up, and she'll be good to go again. So
I love the idea of the cats going out to the pastures. I'm picturing cats out grazing, cat rustlers, bringing them in. Yeah.
Right.
Mark, what are your thoughts on cleaning a cat's ears? I'm just imagining getting scratched up in this process.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but they can be.
Like Kim knows I'm not a cat lover. I think all cats are evil. So yeah, you won't catch me cleaning cats' ears. They'll scratch the hell out of you. They're not nice, are
they
No,
can
no.
they can be vicious. Yeah.
they?
Yeah,
Any
you gotta burrito them. I mean, if all else fails, you gotta get a towel and wrap the towel around it,
All
and
right.
have it in an iron grip, and then hope like hell they don't get out of it and maim you. But the ghost was fine. She's used to me handling her, so she didn't have any problem with it. And besides, like I said, she's been wobbling around like a drunk, so she wouldn't know if I was on one side or the other. So, so she just puts up with it.
Cat
Other
burrito.
than that, yeah, put them in make a cat burrito, and you'll be fine. Other than that, my one-eyed cat Mittens, who's over on the bed, which you can't see right now, he had some drainage coming out of the I want to say eye, but it's not the eye because it's no longer there, but the socket. So I had to call the vet the other day, and thank God I've been going to this vet for years at this point. And I said, look, I treated the other eye with the eye ointment I have, and I said I realize there's no eye in the other socket, but will this same ointment work on it? And well, first I talked to the secretary, and she was like, or the vet tech, and she was like, I'm not sure. Let me talk to the vet. So she asked him, and he come back on, and he said, yeah, sure, fine, try it. He says, and if a few days it doesn't clear up, says bring him down. So that saved me a vet bill because it seems like it's doing the trick. So thank God for that. So
Saving vet bills is good because vets are expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's good to me though. I actually have a charge account down there, and you're not actually supposed to. But like I said, I've been going to them for years, and of course I have a lot of cats. Between the cats, the horses, and the dogs, I'm pretty well established down there. So they will let me make payments over time if it's anything too big.
You keep them in
So-
business quite a bit.
I do. I swear. I think if they added a wing, they could name it after me for the amount of money I've spent down there over the years.
Kim Woods,
So
Feline Rescue Wing. I like it. I like that.
exactly, So and when they used to rescue kittens, I used to because we didn't have a lot of barn cats at the time, and now I'm kicking myself because of the menagerie we do have. But anyway, they'd have kittens down there that people would bring in off the street that nobody claimed. And me being the kind soul I am, I would go down there and adopt like half a dozen of them and bring them home. So
I'm tempted to say it's a world-class menagerie, but I think that's a very specific cinematic reference.
so yeah, that's been my week so far, just cats.
So, speaking of animals, Mark, you have some disparaging words about your internet provider here.
Yeah. So yeah, Virgin sucks donkey dick. I've put in the show notes.
Poor donkeys.
Yeah, so I'm with Virgin Media for my internet, broadband, and also my TV and phone provider. It's all in one. I've been with them for years and years and years, like going on 20 years, maybe longer. And generally, they're pretty good. I don't really have that many problems. Last summer, I had issues where it kept dropping all the time, and there was a fault on their network. And it took them 2 months to solve it, and I got some nice compensation from that. So it was a nightmare at the time, but in the long run, I got a really good renewal deal because my renewal was coming up and I was going to leave them. So I got a really good renewal deal. But again, 2 weeks ago, it started dropping again. Exactly the same scenario. It'll just go off for 10, 15 minutes, sometimes up to half an hour, and just come back on. And it's affecting the whole neighbourhood. My mum lives around the corner. It's affecting hers as well. And according to their support website, there's a known problem, and they'll put up a supposed fixed date. But same as last year, every time that fixed date comes around, which is usually 2 days in advance, they'll put it forward 2 more days. So it was supposed to be the 27th of April. It's now saying the 5th of May, which is tomorrow. So if a stream goes off suddenly, it's not me, it's Virgin Media. So apologies in advance if it goes off. But touch wood, it's not too bad. We watched a movie last night, and it went off halfway through. Oh, God, it's so frustrating. Because obviously, most movies now, you're streaming, aren't you? So if your internet goes off while you're streaming, that's it, no movie.
You don't have your Case Logic binder full of all your old DVDs?
I don't even have a DVD player downstairs anymore, a Blu-ray player. My Xbox Series X is up here. I've got a Series S downstairs. Obviously can't play discs. So, yeah.
There you go. Now, you said you were thinking about leaving them. Here in the States, most places you have one provider who can provide you wired internet service into your house. You have a few options for mobile, but wired service, you have one person. You have choices?
Yeah. So cable-wise, there's only one choice really, which is Virgin. But there used to be the old BT telephone lines, the copper wires, but they're all going fibre now. And there's a lot of providers. So the telephone network now is run by a company called OpenReach, which is part of BT. But now all these providers, same as electricity and gas and that, they sort of like provide you the service. You pay them, and it's up to them to provide support and everything. So there's quite a lot of options if you're on the OpenReach network. But I don't even have a line into the house because we've been on cable for that many years. We don't even have a phone line to the house. If I do want to switch though, they will. It's part of. I've looked into it because when I was going to leave last year, I was going to go with Sky, and they were going to put in a line and everything, and give me full fibre broadband, Sky TV, which was like two-thirds of what I'm paying. So I was paying 90 odd quid last year for my broadband and TV and phone, and Sky was going to do it for 60. After all the hassle I had with Virgin and I threatened to leave them, I actually got an 18-month contract for the same 1 gig broadband, TV and phone for 54 quid a month. So I was quite chuffed with that, really. So 2 months of suffering, I've got an 18 months cracking deal, really, because I can't get it that cheap ever again, I don't think. Yeah, so hopefully by tomorrow it'll be fixed.
Well, let's hope so, because it's a week off is not a good week to have internet out.
No, so I always book my birthday week off, so I've got this week booked off work finally. Need a nice rest. The weather's supposed to be pretty decent this week coming up. It was cracking last week, really warm. It's been a bit cooler this weekend. It's actually a bank holiday in the UK tomorrow, May Day bank holiday. So everyone's off tomorrow anyway, but yeah, I've tagged on 4 more days and got a full week off, so... Yeah, if it's going to be nice, we're going to bugger off out for the day somewhere. Probably nip to the coast. But on Friday, on my birthday, Jenny's taking me out for a meal somewhere. I don't know where yet, so it's going to be a nice surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Hopefully not a unicorn steak.
No, so the movie what was rudely interrupted last night was Death of a Unicorn. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is starring...
Never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, and... what's her name? Janet Ortega, who plays Wednesday. They star in this. And there's some other big names in it, Richard E. Grant and stuff, and Leo Tioni or something. She was in Bad Boys, the original one. Been in a few things. So yeah, it's quite good. It's like a fantasy horror type thing, and it does get quite bloodthirsty. You think, oh, unicorns are fluffy and nice, but yeah, no, these things can turn nasty and brutal, and there's quite a lot of gore and blood and guts. So it's a good watch. It's a really good watch. Richard E. Grant's character is dying of cancer and stuff, and they actually accidentally run this unicorn over, and they realise it's blood and horn has got healing properties. So yeah, so it goes on from there. So,
just accidentally ran the unicorn over.
Yeah, it's really
giant fictional animal jumped right out in front of him.
Yeah.
Anyone who lived through the 80s wouldn't expect a unicorn movie to be anything but violent. It just seems like that's kind of how it went in the 80s. Anything else happening with you, Mark?
No, that's about it, really.
That's about it, really.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question to both of you. Kim, you look after your nephews pretty regularly, right? Are they
Right.
are they school age yet, or are they still preschool age?
Yeah, one's 12 and one just turned 6.
So. Yeah. So how's the end of the school year treating you out there? Is it craziness?
Not bad. A little bit, because they're getting all ready for like graduations, because my 12-year-old nephew, he's going to be graduating 6th grade, so there's got that going on, and so yeah, it's definitely nuts. I realized the cousin, his daughter, graduated yesterday, and I totally had forgotten about it, so of course I'm gonna have to send her something for a graduation. So yeah, it's
actual graduation or 6th grade graduation?
No, actual high school graduation.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm at, they usually don't graduate until like the middle of the month, but oh no.
Okay.
Apparently over in that part of the state, they're doing it early. So
have your schools broken up for summer already?
Depends on the state. So here in New York, we go through about the second week of June. Some of the other states will let out earlier. A lot of the school year is still driven around the harvest, right? Planting and harvest. even in areas where, or in my area, it's driven by the local vacation spots need the teenagers to provide cheap labor so that they can be open, and so they need the schools to be out. And so Kim is mentioning, you have all these. We now do when they finish pre-K, they have a graduation, and when they finish fifth grade and go into middle school, they have a graduation, and then when they finish eighth grade and go into high school, they have a graduation. Is this a thing for you, Mark, or is it like, no, man, you just graduate once?
Well, when I was at school, was your first school, your middle school, and then your upper school. But now they just have two schools. Now they just have a primary and then the grammar school, the upper school. And they don't break up for summer until mid-July. And then they have 6 weeks off and go back, so like first week in September. But the primary schools are 4 to 12 now, I think, and then 12 to 16 at the upper school.
Okay.
Right, 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah. My kids are 1 year apart in school. They're a year and a half apart birth date, but they're 1 year apart in school.
Yeah.
And we're coming to the end of the school year. It's into school year concerts. It's into school year track meets. It's graduation for the one who's going from middle school to high school. And I teach, and Katie also teaches. So it's just all the end of the year. Every night is something. It seems like it's just kind of madness. I guess it's better to be busy than to have nothing to do. But sometimes it's like, hey, let's pump the brakes a little. This week around campus, we're having a big military competition. Schools, military academies from the schools from around the country, around the world and the country, will send teams here. We have a team from Canada, 2 teams from the UK, Mexico, Italy, Germany. I can't list them all. I'll forget. And they go through about a week-long military competition and all the different squad level skills, which involves a lot of pyrotechnics. And the dog is not a fan of the pyrotechnics.
Oh, I did not know.
Oh, and then that's that. Good luck to all the competitors. It's a pretty physically grueling event. It's not for old men like me. It's for the young people. And then finally Friday we went to check out our local golf course. Just opened a new clubhouse. I don't golf, but clubhouses usually have good sandwiches, so I'm down for a good sandwich, right? So we went to check out the new golf course, and myself and a couple fellows I work with walked in, and there's a big line, and we finally get up to the counter to order, and the guy looks at me, and he's got like his eyes are the size of I'm going to say $50. That won't mean anything to anyone outside the United States. It's a large coin. And
the size of golf balls.
The size of golf balls. And he says, we just had 25 people call in ahead of you. So, and like literally afraid, like not just kind of matter of factly, hey, it might be a little bit of weight. Like this guy was clearly in over his head. And so I was like, all right, no problem. We'll go somewhere else. And so any excuse to get tacos, we ended up at our favorite taco joint instead. So we'll go, I guess we'll go check out the clubhouse later. Once they get their act together. I don't know why someone running a golf course would anticipate a crowd on a Friday afternoon when the weather's gorgeous and it's about lunchtime. But
right,
sometimes you got to think ahead. So while we're talking about sandwiches, Mark, favorite sandwich?
You got me on the spot now. I do love a good bacon and sausage and brown sauce.
Bacon, sausage, and brown sauce. Does that have cheese on it? No cheese. Just bacon, sausage, and brown sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Kim, you need a minute to think.
Yeah, I think mine would be roast beef, cheddar cheese, horseradish sauce, and just regular old bread.
Now I'm hungry. I do love a good. I do love a good sandwich. For me, it would probably be turkey, bacon, lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese, mustard mayo. That would be, and sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is the heat. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else of note this week, lady and gent?
Oh,
no.
well,
I'm
it
just
is the
hoping
first
it's
of the
gonna be one
month.
of-
I've got my calendar. So
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
do that, I
we
guess.
almost
Yeah.
forgot. We
I mean,
almost
Techcraft's not
forgot.
here, and it is favorite time of the show, but we'll do it anyway. So
We'll have-
anyway,
yeah.
it's May, and we have Jacob and Seltzer.
Very
You can
nice.
figure out which is which. So
I think Jacob's the cat.
Probably.
And,
That's my guess.
Seltzer is the American Gladiator in the background.
Right.
He's the one running the tennis ball cannon.
right. So there you go.
All right. Firefighters and cats. Happy May, everybody. Summer is almost here. So speaking of questions,
I've made a jingle for this.
I'm ready.
Oh boy.
Now it's time for community questions.
Was that you?
It is
Did you,
indeed.
did
Yeah,
you, did you
Right?
say-
yeah, with a voice changer.
Nice. Nice. Kind of like Optimus Prime there for a minute. All right. So, community question from Commander Corzan. Not sure if this has been asked before. What type of gameplay do people prefer? Single player, player versus environment, player versus player, cooperative, etc. And if there is a specific game that is only single player, but would be even better if it was co-op, which would you choose? I'll kick it off while you mull it over. I am a big fan of cooperative player versus environment type games. Reflexes aren't that great anymore. I don't do so great in PvP. And it's some of the non so a game like World of Warcraft or Fallout 76, that's the PvP is based more on your stats and gear. I'm not interested in diving into all the buffs and everything that makes you a PvP warhorse in that type of environment. I just want to play the game. So I'm going to say co-op, player versus environment, and it's a bit of a cop out, but I'm going to say that if Skyrim had been cooperative, it would have been great fun to be able to have a 5-player party with tank, healer, rogue, going after all those dragons. I think that would have been a great experience. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'm exactly like you, Chris. I'm too old now for PvP. My PvP days are behind me. I too love co-op PvE, play versus environment. I love survival crafting type games. So you're Enshrouded. There's a new one I'm going to talk about today, which is I like the old Conan Exiles. Anything like that, I love them types of games. And my son loves them too, so we usually always play that together. Building houses and stuff and gathering all the resources. It's really good.
Kim, what do you think?
All right. Yeah. I'm kind of a mixed bag. I like a little bit of everything. I like co-op. I like PvP some days. I mean, there are days I can play Call of Duty and just wipe, or even Battlefield, and just have a good round or two. And then there's other days I can't play with shit. I get frustrated and go play something else. But yeah, single player sometimes. Kind of like Baldur's Gate. Something I can play and sink hours into and not think about reality is great. Like co-op, I liked when Gears 3 was 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
The next one, what was it? The latest one, it was only 2-player co-op, and which is fine, but I liked 4-player because then you could get more people into it. But like I said, it just kind of depends on what mood I'm in and what I want to play. So there's not really anything that I don't particularly like. So
We had I remember the community put many hours into the Gears of War 3 Horde mode when that was new. We had a lot of fun with that. We did have one answer from the community. Sarah chimed in and says that at some point she's liked all of those modes, but lately searching mostly for good co-op games or chill puzzle games. And she mentioned specifically Deep Rock Galactic. I I haven't spent a lot of time with Deep Rock Galactic. I have watched one of my kids play, and it does look like a pretty fun co-op experience. Either of you played Deep Rock Galactic?
No,
I haven't, but
I
I've
don't
got it
even know what
downloaded,
is.
but I've never played it. So
I've heard of it, but I don't even know what it is.
It's a 4-player co-op